The African Israelite Justice Foundation is not your usual legal practice. You see, we focus primarily on cases involving injustice against African Israelite groups or injustice against individuals because he or she identifies as an African Israelite or an Israelite of African descent. In other words, we are not a general legal practice. Instead, we specialize on African Israelite cases. And also, family, please keep in mind, we are a brand new organization, not affiliated with any existing organizations. However, it is our hope to establish connections with all African Israelite groups and people here in the States and around the world. Family, we need to hear your stories of injustice so that we can begin to record, investigate, and identify the enemies of Israel hiding behind the veil, and then ultimately hold them accountable in a court of law. And as stated before, we are a brand new organization with limited funds, and we are in the process of expanding our resources to further enhance our legal team who will litigate our cases. And if you would like to join this historic cause, please share this message all over social media. Spread this message of IsraeliteJustice.org worldwide. And get this message from Kyrie to Kanye, from Whoopi Goldberg to Nick Cannon. And also share your stories of injustice or donate to the cause. And if you so choose to, you can remain anonymous and let us do all the work. After all, that's what the Israelite Justice Foundation is here for. We are here to fight for your right to be Israel. As always, thank you in advance. We appreciate you and love you, Israel. Take care, family. Shalom.
What's up, family? What's going on? Welcome. Welcome, family. Welcome. Y'all, I am stuck in the house. Why did my child? We have 2 sets of keys in our house. I always leave the home key as if the last person's here, the main key, which has the garage thing on it. So I'm cooking dinner. My daughter said, I'm getting ready to go run some errands and, go hang out with some friends. I said, okay. So I proceed to start cooking and say, you know how you start cooking and you realize I need to run to the store because I forgot something. So I look on my table. I see the secondary key. Now, the secondary keys go to the person that leaves. And the primary key usually stays at the house. So if anything goes down, whoever is closest to the house can get to the keys and get out the garage. That's just how I do it. That's how I'm thinking. So, daughter out, I'm here. So I'm supposed to have the primary key. She has the secondary key. Why did my child walk out with the primary key and my car is locked up in the garage and I cannot get out? I'm like, oh my gosh. So my whole day has changed. I'm going to have to Uber some stuff because I'm trying to cook and there are a few little things that are missing, but I overall holistically have everything. I just need some sugar because I'm going to make some candy yams. So what I'm cooking for dinner is roast, greens, candy yams, and and cornbread. Because I'm going to try to cook for the week so that I can take my lunch. this to work. I tried, real y'all is asking to get put up and put in doggy jail. But so I don't have to spend no money in the street. That's my goal, not to spend a ton of money in the street. So I'm cooking dinner. So I have the roast on. Then, not to mention today, y'all, I put the roast in. I put it in a crock pot because what I like about when I put it in the crock pot and not in the oven is I can put it in a crock pot and leave and go, run to the store or whatnot. Why did I just put it in a crock pot at 12 o'clock? So we all know crock pot roast takes 12 hours. Well, really 8 or 9 hours. That roast ain't gonna be ready at 10 o'clock tonight. So guess who is possibly gonna have to order some food? But my greens will be ready. My candy yams. I put turkey necks in it. I mean turkey tails. So I put turkey tails in my greens just in case some folks are like, "Oh, Sista, what you use ham?" No, I use turkey tails. Oh my gosh. Only reason I'm trying to cook is trying to get some of all this. You know how you got meat in your freezer and you just like, let me go ahead and start cooking some of this meat. And I saw that roast and I said, I'll be in and out of the house because of, going back and forth to Memphis and doing things for the next couple of months. So I'm like, let me go ahead and cook this roast. So I don't like leaving that type of meat in the refrigerator, in the freezer too long. If I get a roast, I don't like leave. Some people leave a roast in the turkey tails. You know how you leave your roast? People leave a roast in the freezer for like months. I have a fear of things getting freezer burn. So yeah, turkey tails. You ain't never heard of turkey tails? Oh, y'all, tell him about turkey. Where's my southern people in here? Turkey tails are the best thing when you don't do pork in your greens. Like I used to use neck bones in my greens back in the day. I could use beef neck bones, but they don't have. Well, no, not neck bones. Yeah, pork neck bones. I used to put pork neck bones in my greens and ham hock too sometimes. Most of the times I use ham hock though in my greens. Most of the time. And the consistency of ham hocks and the taste of it and the gelatinous taste and the flavor is phenomenal when you used to use it in your greens back in the day. Well, since I am no longer I eat pork, I don't no longer eat pork. I subscribe to turkey tails. Turkey tails has that that texture that I need, like that. You know how the ham hock texture you have in your greens, and it just set it off. Turkey tails give me that same texture, and it gives me that same flavor. So I use smoked turkey tails in my greens. Very good replacement. Very good replacement. So I ain't sitting here playing like, oh, I don't eat no meat. We eat meat in our house. Some people use turkey necks. I've heard people use turkey tails. Turkey necks. But this is how turkey. Yeah, I've used the wings too. I wanted to use the wings, but like I said, I'm just for some reason I'm gonna have to try it. Them turkey. This is how I look. And we can get on our show. So this is how turkey tails look. That's how they look. So delicious in the greens. That's all I have to say. I love it. People use turkey necks as well. In the South. Y'all are hilarious. Y'all ain't never put turkey tails in y'all greens. Oh man, it hit different. It They do look like they look like neck bones, but if you look up close, they almost look like ham hock too. I forgot to put my crushed pepper in there. But I have been in a cooking mood because I love my Jamaican brothers and sisters. Don't get me wrong, I love y'all. But sometimes when y'all cook greens or either cabbage, y'all kind of piss me off a little bit. Sorry. Because it be too crunchy. Like, I like crunch. I don't want a salad. And sometimes when I go to these Jamaican places to get cabbage and peas and rice, I'm a Southern girl at heart. I love smothered cabbage and red beans and rice, which is somewhat the same as y'all cabbage and peas and rice. But yeah, sometimes then I taste sometimes y'all's greens and y'all's cabbage be a little sweet, and it's just like, why is y'all cabbage sweet? And I can't do it. So I go, y'all kill the game with the oxtails. Caribbean people kill the game with the oxtails. I kid y'all not. Y'all do. Now I ain't gonna say down south, they ain't killing it with the oxtails, but y'all do y'all thing with the oxtails. Sometimes that cabbage can be hit or miss. And I like rice and peas, but sometimes it can be a little dry. Sorry. I've been raised on red beans and rice. So red beans and rice tends to have a little bit more gravy on it. But I still like Caribbean food. But yeah, y'all, sometimes I be like, this is a little crunchy. A little crunch. I like crunch, but I don't like the crunch like I'm eating a salad when I'm eating a bowl of cabbage. You know, we cook the cabbage like cabbage cook, like we cooking it. Or if we cooking, like sometimes I had collard greens that y'all have, and I'd be like, oh, these look too crunchy for me. But y'all killing the game with oxtails. I say that. I ain't gonna take that away from y'all. Hands down, Caribbean oxtails are fire. Kid y'all not. I ain't gonna take it away from y'all. I ain't gonna take it from the South. South got they little spin on oxtails, but y'all do really good with oxtails. But maybe when I see y'all green, sometimes I just be like, what? Hold on. Oh, I love my greens tender. Also, I don't like them crunch. When I crunch into it, I got a problem. I like to cook it. There's a process in which we cook our greens. Y'all got to understand. I don't know if Caribbeans have this process. We have to, every person, not just Southerner, but every Black person, ADOS, this is how we cook our greens. First, I use some chicken stock and water, onion, a little garlic, salt and pepper, season my little water, what I consider to be chicken stock water. Usually I put majority chicken stock in there, but I'm out of chicken. I only have I'm almost out of chicken stock, but I had enough. Then you take your turkey tails or whatever and you let it boil. And the test to know your turkey tails or your ham hock, well, people used to use ham hock, or your turkey necks is ready and the pot liquor is ready, is you stick that fork in there, pick it up. If you pick it up and it don't fall back into the pot, it's not ready. When you pick it up and try it with your fork and then it falls back in the pot because it's so tender, that's when you know, okay, now I can put my greens in there. And then you make but your pot liquor tells you how good. I put a little smoked paprika in mine too, as well, Angela. But gotta be careful with that smoked paprika though, because that smoked paprika can be overwhelming. But once you get that and you taste your pot liquor and your pot liquor is on point, that's when you know this is ready. Because if you got nasty pot liquor, your greens gonna be nasty. Your pot liquor got to be on point. I put a little bit of complete seasoning, seasoned salt, onion powder, garlic powder, a little smoked paprika, a little crushed red pepper. I've now started putting Scotch bonnets in mine, but I take it out as soon as I'm done because it gives you that spiciness. I love spicy. I hadn't put no Scotch bonnet in it today though. Because, that Scotch bonnet, though, if you leave it in there too long, baby, them greens fire hot. So that's how I cook my greens. Oh yeah, fried cabbage is the truth. When you fried cabbage, baby. I like I like to make sure that when I cook my cabbage, I put a lot of pepper. I love my cabbage to have a lot of pepper. One day I might do a cooking series. Maybe when I get a bigger place, because this New York place ain't getting it. But yeah, a little cook. So I ain't gonna say I'm the best cook, but I learned how to cook from my dad. So then make your little cornbread. Um, I haven't mastered the art of cornbread yet. I make a decent cornbread, but my daddy can make a cornbread that's just fire. And if every single time I'll be like, what are you doing different than I'm doing? Candy yams. I hate chopping candy yams though because it's so thick and heavy. And then my roast is in the crock pot. So that's dinner for me. And for the rest of the week. Oh, that cornbread with that pot liquor. Y'all and we're gonna start the show in a minute. But Madison was a baby. I remember when she was a baby. Y'all know this the test right here. When they get to the point where they can eat solid food, you get some pot liquor, crumble up some cornbread in it, mash it so they can be able to eat it because they ain't got all their teeth yet. And she was just looking at me. She was a little baby. She wasn't even a year old. She was like in her months, like 10 months. She was a little bit younger. She was about 9, 10 months. Ranging from that range. She just looking at me, bobbing that little head, trying to figure out what you doing. And my baby had a big head. She had to grow into her head. But she was looking at me like, what are you doing? Baby, when I put that spoon in, that baby spoon, and put it in her mouth, she had a perky look on her face like, what is this? The second time I tried to go forward, she had took both her hands, fat little baby hands, and snatched the spoon out of my hand because it was just that good. I said, oh, this baby right here is predestined to be greedy. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm cooking. Like I said, I only decided to cook because I'm trying to cook some of this stuff out of my freezer. You know what? I have not used bacon grease in a long time. I could probably use beef bacon because they got pretty good bacon. So, pound cake. Pound cake. ADOS. African descendants of slaves. American is it African? You know what I mean? Us. Pound cake is I say this. Pound cake, as far as desserts, 3 things that's a staple in the Black community. I'll say 4 things. 4 things, desserts that are a staple in the Black community. Pound cake, banana pudding, sweet potato pie, and for me, caramel cake. What's pound cake? Somebody said, what? See, y'all, those are the 3 main desserts you better have. At least 3 out of the 4. You bet. The one that's kind of like hit or miss is the caramel cake. Most people don't. You ain't got to have caramel cake. Caramel cake is bonus dessert at a Black family gathering. But you better have some banana pudding. You better have some pound cake, and you better have some sweet potato pie. If you don't have those 3 main things, we got a problem. This ain't no Black dinner. This ain't no Black dinner. This is not a Black dinner. You got to have those 3 things. Yeah, you got to have all 3. Oh, you got to have a little bit of peach cobbler. I forgot about that. That's the 5th one, peach cobbler. See, we were no big peach cobbler eaters because, one, I'm allergic to peaches somewhat. And it got worse when I had my daughter. So when I have peach cobbler, I stay away from it. Peaches just, it does something to my allergies. But banana pudding and that pound cake and that sweet potato pie, if you say you know how to cook those things, you better know how to cook them. You better know how to cook them, because if you don't know how to cook those 3 things and you say you finna bring one to a family dinner, and you ain't mastered it. Oh, I forgot about the coconut cake too. Oh, coconut cake as well. If you ain't mastered it, we have a problem. So who in here? I know we got a lot of Caribbean people in here. Y'all know what pound cake is, right? Hit 1 if you do, 2 if you don't. Because I heard somebody say, what's pound cake? And they just said, what? What is pound cake? What is pound cake? Oh my gosh, pound cake is, I'm talking about pure deliciousness. Oh, and pound cake. Oh my gosh, pound cake will make you hurt yourself. Pound cake. I have eaten pound cake. Oh my gosh, until I was like, oh, y'all don't know what pound cake is. Ooh. Somebody said, my sugar, you sure right about that. Ooh, baby, pound cake. I remember as a kid, you know how that aroma of somebody cooking a pound cake, what the kitchen smells like. Deliciousness. Let me show y'all what a pound cake look like. Let me see. I would say it looked kind of like, not like this, right? I'm trying to get that off. Like this. And it's made of, like it looked like this. And it's got to be crunchy at the top. I'm sorry. If it's not crunchy, oh, it's not good. She said a pound of butter in it. You right. You sure right about that. So the ingredients, and we're going to get on the show, y'all, but we're just having fun. We're going to talk. I put cream cheese in my pound cake. I put butter and cream cheese in it. Because that cream cheese adds that extra moisture that I need, but plenty of butter. Then okay, so somebody said they didn't know what pound cake. I like both of them. I like lemon and vanilla bound pound cake. I love both. I'll take both of them. Hey, pound cake hit different when it's. I like it hot, fresh out the oven. I'm talking about fresh, but you know you gotta let it sit because it's gonna crumble. Me, I'm the ninja that's gonna go in and try to take a bite of it. You get a bun cake, you gotta get refined sugar, 1.5 cups of cream cheese. This looks like a pretty decent. I like to use the pure vanilla that comes off of the vanilla stick itself, and then you grate it off. And when you grate off, you put that vanilla in it. Woo! Man, you talking about some eating. Y'all have pound cake with raisins. Okay. Ooh, pound cake with vanilla ice cream. Y'all, we gotta have fun talking. And we finna get into the seriousness of what's going on. But baby, woo. Okay, so these are the staples of the Black American community. Oh, I love it. You gotta have it hot. Because when you have it hot, guess what happens? You put that vanilla ice cream on it. And when you put that vanilla ice cream on it and it melts, saints, I want a pound cake so bad. When I go home, I'm finna beg. My mama also make that buttermilk chest pie. Have you ever had buttermilk chest pie? Yeah, my mama makes the best buttermilk chest pie. And I like it when she make it fresh and hot. Ooh, buttermilk chest. She call it buttermilk pie. I'm gonna make 2 buttermilk pies. I'd be like, thank you. Because I'm not y'all don't talk about me. I'm still Black. But I am not a big sweet potato pie eater. Sorry. It's just the consistency. It's good, but it's just I've tried hard to like it, but it just didn't hit for me. But that chest pie, my mama made chest pie. They call it buttermilk chest pie. I can eat that till I'm sick. Now we talking about some good eating. So if you go home, best to believe when you having a black family dinner, cornbread, collard greens, candy yams, roast somewhere in the midst, some fried or baked chicken, either or. They both hit. Macaroni and cheese. That's another one, nigga. If you say you finna cook some mac and cheese, you better know how to cook it. Cause if you screw it up, you will throw the whole meal off and piss everybody off in the room. So leave it to the pros that know how to make that mac and cheese. Baked mac and cheese, yes. So, and then you gotta have, I said the candy yams, mac and cheese. And somebody make potato salad, but I am not a potato salad eater. And fried cornbread or baked cornbread. Gotta have that. We used to just call the fried cornbread hot water cornbread. Hot water cornbread, you'll hurt yourself. Hurt yourself. So I've had 7-Up cake too. 7-Up cake is good too. You'll have 7-Up cake too at a gathering. They good. They real good as well. I want me a pound cake. And y'all, I'm finna make some major, and I've said this, but I'm serious about it. I'm interested now to getting back into, back to working out and running like I used to. So I've been checking out a few gyms out here. So I'm gonna have to pull back from some of the evil. But every blue moon, rest assured, I'm gonna make me a good plate. That's the one thing when you make these lifestyle changes like this, you don't want to just shock yourself. So my last slice of pound cake will probably be around New Year's Eve because my mama make a pound cake or somebody makes pound cake around that time. So I'm gonna get a slice of that. I probably won't have another slice of a pound cake or cake for a couple of months because I'm finna do a hard cutback. And anybody who knows me, I just love to cook and I like to eat. I love to cook and I like, black eyed peas. I almost forgot about that. That's got to be at the family dinner. But I love to cook because I'm a eat. And punch bowl cake. Somebody said cake in the bowl. We used to call it punch bowl cake. My cousin who passed away, she used to make the punch bowl cake. Punch bowl cake is just white cake, or I've seen people use white cake, chop it up, add strawberries, add whipped cream, add it's almost like strawberry shortcake, just about. But yeah. But I like to cook, and with that cooking, I like to eat. So, but I got to get back in shape, y'all. I am so out of shape right now. This is ridiculous. You talking about somebody who used to run all the time. When I would be mad, I would go running to get my mind off of something. But I've gotten so lazy. I'm like, I gotta get back into the swing of things. So I really want to run and get trained, see if I can do a marathon. So I'm getting it in. My mama said she's gonna make me a chest pie, and she's gonna make me pound cake. But I actually make the pound cake, or my sister makes a pound cake. So my dad taught us how to cook. My dad taught his girls how to cook. My dad said, if you don't know how to make something, you better know how to make a pot of greens. He always you better know how to cook a pot of greens. He said, pot of greens will get you through something. Hot pot of greens, and you can make cornbread. But he said, if a girl don't know how to make a pot of greens, he got a problem with it. And that's what that was one of the first meals. That's the first thing he ever taught me. Now, this is what you're going to do. Take your ham hock, your salt, pepper, onion, put it in the pot, add some more seasoning, and then let it cook. He said, but you let it boil until that meat fall off the bone. That's when you know it's ready. So my dad taught me how to cook. But that was one of the first things he taught me. Because greens really aren't hard to cook. I tell people, I say that's the easiest thing you can learn how to cook. Only way you can screw up greens if you don't clean them. If you don't know how to clean greens, stay out the kitchen. It's harder to clean turnip greens than it is collard greens. Collard greens, you clean them, but turnip greens, it's like you got to take it through the cleaning process a lot more. But But when you have gravel in your greens, pour the whole pot in the garbage can. In fact, throw the pot in the garbage can along with it, because you don't need to cook anymore if you don't know how to clean your greens. So you really can't screw greens up unless you just add unnecessary seasoning. Stick to the basics. Salt, pepper. I use seasoned salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. You always got to have those things. And I don't have any chicken bouillon cubes, but I throw some of those in there too. So, but yes. Yep, absolutely no dirty greens. If your greens dirty, the family you better say you dropped the pot in the middle of the floor if you was on your way to bringing those greens. You better not bring no dirty greens. Don't even tell people you accidentally made dirty greens, because we don't look at you sideways like, you got to take your time when you wash your greens off. Man, my daddy had me going from one sink to the next. Y'all know the process. Drain that other side of the sink out, put the fresh water, dip it in there, clean the little sink out that you put the first wash in, refill the sink up. Well, rinse the sink out, make sure you get all gravel out, and then you put it back, you go back and forth from one sink to the next to try to get all the gravel out. So y'all laughing, dirty greens. But I love my Caribbean sisters and brothers. Y'all know I love y'all. But sometimes y'all cabbage I'll be like, Lord, who cooked these cabbages? You know, old people say these cabbages. Who cooked these cabbages? Who made these greens? Why are these greens crunchy? Why is this cabbage crunchy? And that's why we want to say, I'd be like, can y'all cook it a little longer? And then I don't know, do y'all use any meat? Do y'all use meat in y'all collard greens? Because I promise you, I'm like, Lord. Somebody said I'm making okra soup. That's how you make your pot liquor. Oh, you say I gotta cook some okra. Gotta cook some okra soup. Sister E. Is that that okra? I don't like no okra. Okra is beyond disgusting to me. I can't. I saw Sheila do her live and she was cooking some okra. I said, oh my gosh. Oh, it's disgusting. I can't. Oh, I can't. So you got a spot that's near you, 7-8, that make really good cabbage. Now, what is the African dish that's cabbage? Not cabbage, but it looks like spinach, and it has some like weird little white base to it. It's like, I don't know what it is, but it's so good. I can't remember the name of it. Hold on. It's a cabbage that they make when I go to the African shop to get some food. What is the name of it? Is it cabbage? What is it? I think it's spinach. I think it may be African stewed spinach. Oh, and I get it in Virginia. Oh, it'd be so good. Oh my goodness. You know what? I gotta drive through Virginia soon. I'll go get me some of that and eat it up. It's delicious, y'all. And it used to be right up the African spot I used to go to in Virginia was just a couple of miles away from my apartment. I would go there and just eat the spinach. That spinach was fire. Now that spinach was fire. I want to know what they put in it because it was delicious. I could substitute that for greens because they add meat in it like it's greens. Like you can get goat, and I used to get goat in it. Oh man, there's certain things I miss about Virginia, like big apartments, parking spots, grocery stores where you're not harassed by street entertainment. Yeah, certain things I miss about Virginia, and one of them is that wild spinach. because it kind of looks like this, but they would have like and I know it's an African people or people from the continent here, but it kind of looks like this a little bit. And when I first ordered it, I said, "Oh, I don't know if I want to eat that." I don't know if it's bitter leaf. I don't know what they put in it. I don't know what green vegetable y'all put. It's fire though. So that's it. What it's called, man. Ooh, is that what it is? Let me see. Let me see. Yep, that's what that is. It is. This is what it is. Egash soup. Egash. I think that's what you're saying. When I tell y'all, that's what that is. And it was real spicy. And I like my food spicy. This is what it is. Yep. And I tell y'all, good. I like snapper too. Okay, so y'all, let's get on it. Because I know folks tired of hearing me talk about food. Y'all, did y'all hear about what happened in New York? So, let's see. Let me show y'all the video of what happened. I actually had the video on my YouTube page. Hold on, let me get past it. So keep in mind, do y'all remember the story that was told? I don't know if it's true, but did y'all hear about a bunch of weapons being stolen in some plant or some warehouse or somewhere in Brooklyn? I heard about that. I'm looking for the article. I cannot find it. So I'm gonna leave that in the back of your heads when we talk about this. So I was at home. Was it Thursday? I think it was Thursday. Or was it Friday? No, it couldn't have been Friday. It was Thursday. I think it was Thursday. I was sitting on the couch talking to my daughter, and we was watching some on TV, laughing, joking, being silly. And before you know it, the lights blinked, and they blinked really fast. My daughter didn't see it. She missed it. And I was like, "Did you see that?" She said, "No, I didn't." Because it was more so, it blinked in the kitchen because I don't leave lights on all through the house. I just have one light. So it wasn't too evident for us. The kitchen light blinked because that was the only light we had on. And I was like, "You didn't see that?" She said, "No." So 10 minutes later, she tells me this is going on. They call it a blackout in New York that happened. So I did witness it. It is true. It was a power surge so I'll let y'all see the video.
Also following more breaking news in Brooklyn, where crews worked overnight to restore power after an explosion at a Con Ed substation. Let's get right to Lizette Nunez. She is live in the Dumbo neighborhood with the very latest. Lizette, there is reports people were trapped in elevators overnight.
Yep, that's right, Tashani. The FDNY got calls of people getting trapped in elevators, and they had to go ahead and rescue them. Some witnesses described it as an explosion, and they also saw black smoke coming from the Con Ed station here in Brooklyn. I want to get to video of what things looked like earlier. People were posting on social media. They saw that black smoke coming from Brooklyn, and they were trying to basically figure out what was going on. Now, Con Ed says right before midnight, there was a fault on a high-tension transmission line at their substation in Brooklyn, causing customers to see a dip or either a surge in power. The FDNY says there were reports of power issues across the city, and this caused problems at the Wegmans in downtown Brooklyn after reports that a person was stuck in the elevator after the power went out. Fire crews could be seen entering the store with equipment to make the rescue. Now, first you'll listen to audio from dispatch as first responders were called to the scene, and you'll also hear from a witness who was near Wegmans when the outage happened.
3-1, we're also getting 50 Bridge Street off of Plymouth, reporting a power grid explosion.
All I know is that the dude in the elevator was in there before the outage was going off. It just outed, and then he was stuck in there. It was like stuck in between floors or something like that.
Yeah, so at one point, over 1,000 customers had reported that they lost power. It since has been restored. We also heard that early in the morning there was some disruption and also some power outages on the 4 and 6 line, but that also has since been fixed. That's the latest from Brooklyn. To Shawnee Wilson, thanks. Back inside.
All right, Lizette, thank you.
So I actually saw it. So it is true. I was at home. And the good thing is I had just gotten off the train because that was the day that I took the train home. Something told me, what day was that? Was it outage on a Thursday? Some said go home. So I went on, I was at a company event. I left. And when I got home, I was sitting on the couch and I was talking to my daughter. And like I said, all of a sudden, the kitchen light blinked out and blinked on. Now, keep in mind, this Con Edison I think it's in Dumbo area. Dumbo area is a very expensive area to live in New York. If you live in Dumbo in Brooklyn, you making money. Dumbo, you making money. Brooklyn Heights, I think it's Brooklyn Heights, you making money. I think they're in the same area. Bensonhurst, I think it's Bensonhurst as well. That's how I'm saying it right. You making decent money, but if you live in Dumbo, you making money. Nothing is cheap in Dumbo. Not even a kitchen with one toilet is not cheap. It's expensive. So so I'm like I think it's called Dumbo. Yep, it's called Dumbo. Am I saying that right? Y'all know I'm country. Yep, it's Dumbo in Brooklyn. Anybody who, because I was actually looking, somebody's like, look at a place in Dumbo. I was like, yes, baby, that look lasted 5 minutes. Because you know how you look for something and then you figure out, that's too expensive. But so yeah, it was a power outage. Now, key to it is the village is high too, but that's Manhattan. I wouldn't want to live in Manhattan. It's too much to go on. I'm good with Brooklyn. My heart is in. I've come to New York and I've grown to love Brooklyn. I like Queens as well, but it's just something about Brooklyn. But did you notice they said an explosion? Ain't nobody said nothing about how the explosion has happened. What caused the explosion? Has anybody heard any news of what was the outcome of this explosion? They said it was an explosion in a Con Edison plant. You know, Con Edison is pretty much all of power and electricity here in New York. It's like the Dominion, but it's Con Edison. Everybody knows Con Edison is. So Con Edison, so if you shut down or if you blow up a utility power location for Con Edison in a section of Brooklyn, rest assured, you finna shut the power down in quite a bit of Brooklyn. You're going to impact, I think, Dumbo, Park Slope, Prospect Park, possibly. I did some research. Some of Crown Heights, downtown Brooklyn, it was getting ready to shut down. If that, yeah. And see, I live near Prospect Park, so it impacted us over here. So yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty interesting, I'll say. They kept it real quiet. They kept it real hush, if you notice. They really didn't talk about it. They didn't talk about it much on the news. It wasn't mentioned. So, because people are going to ask the question of, what do you mean an explosion at a Con Edison power plant? Explosion. I understand a power outage, but an explosion. looking at the village. The village is no, the village is not Brooklyn. Village is Manhattan. I go to the village way too much. Now I'm at the argue. I know you from this area, but how is the village Brooklyn? The village, you talking about East Village and Greenwich Village, that whole little village area. That's Manhattan. That is not Brooklyn. And I ain't even from here. Bro, I ain't from here. The village is Manhattan. I think it yeah, it's Manhattan. But yeah, nobody said anything. Nobody has said why that happened. Nobody's really talking about it. Have y'all noticed that? Are they talking about this explosion at the Con Edison power plant in Brooklyn? Have y'all seen it on the news? I knew it hadn't been talked about because I hadn't got any calls about it, or I have not seen anybody do anything on it. I have not seen anything. So I'm like, okay, so what's really going on? Why are they keeping this quiet? Why are they keeping this quiet? So I'll do a little bit more research on this. This is what I found. So oh, I didn't know that. Pacific Street. Wait a minute. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Oh, wait a minute. I thought Pacific Street. Yeah, Pacific Street because it's over by Atlantic. I didn't know that. My bad. And my apologies. I did not know. Why does Sista E support Trump? I don't support. Who can y'all do something about this person? I don't support either or, people. They both are both wings on the same daggum bird. So chill out. Okay, so I'm sorry though. J Hostile, you from here? I thought you meant like East Village, that area. I was actually in the village because we had an event for my job. So let's see why this happened. Let's see. These folks out here trying to say I support Trump. How dare y'all? Trump giving up if Trump makes the decision to approve reparations, he my buddy just for that second, just for that moment. Because neither one of them have agreed with the reparations. So, all right.
Overnight, parts of New York City grinding to a halt after a brief power surge wreaked havoc. Darkness flickering in the city that never sleeps right before midnight.
Quarter-minute explosion at 25 J Street. Looking to get some units.
Residents felt the effects across the city, some even trapped in elevators, after a small explosion sparked at this substation in Brooklyn. Smoke seen filling the air.
Brooklyn to the 3-1, reporting power grid explosion.
The surge disrupted subway service, escalators and busy buildings frozen. Firefighters responded to calls from people stuck in elevators, including an employee at this Wegmans grocery store. Con Ed releasing a statement saying the surge was the result of a fault on a high-tension transmission line, causing customers to experience a dip or surge in power. It comes as there are concerns about the strength and safety of power grids across the country. With extreme weather approaching for the winter and systems under pressure, many hoping the disruption isn't repeated anywhere else this holiday season.
So Con Ed is blaming it, that's the power company is blaming it on a high tension wire. That's a wire with a lot of voltage. You know, you look at those pictures of that plume of smoke is incredibly alarming, but thankfully this morning, no one was injured. Guys, back to you.
Stephanie, thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every week.
Oh yeah, fair use too. I'm gonna tell y'all something. The worst city to have a blackout is New York. That would be that would not be pretty. Would not be pretty. Just think about all of New York going black. I've heard that it did happen once. I've heard that it did happen once. I don't want to be anywhere in the city at all. Brooklynites nor Manhattanites ain't gonna terrorize me. I'm just joking. Uh, that right there is dangerous, man. I said what? So in my head, I'm like, because like I said, it's not a lie. It did happen. Sitting in my room, lights flicker. I said, what was that? I was like, I paid my y'all know we ignorant. I said, I paid my light bill. Let me go to Con Edison real quick to make sure I paid my light bill but the lights came back on. It just flickered. And hold on, let me get me some tea. Hold on, family. Hey, breezy. Ain't nobody your boy. You don't see you, boy. I can't see you over there. My puppy, y'all. He gave up. He taking naps. Today is a nap day for him. He is so tired after barking at the FedEx guy and the Amazon guy and the postal service. So he just exhausted. He done worked himself into a tizzy. But yeah, New York is dangerous. Like, I guess it would be dangerous to not have lights. I'll say that much. My puppy, his name is Rio, so he chilling. Man, I'm like, I'm not gonna get caught out here. I'm gonna wait till the lights come back on by way of sunlight, gladly hopping inside of my car and leaving. Exit stage left. Thank God that my car is behind the garage. So yeah, I'm leaving. I'm going home for a little bit till they can get their stuff together. But yeah, y'all, that power surge was interesting. I'll say that much. I want to see how this gonna work though, because they spinning it. They not really telling you how is it another active line causes an explosion. Some ain't. That story ain't sitting well with me. Maybe some electricians in here can tell me, but that sort of story doesn't sound quite right. It's one thing to cause a power. Why would you have a? Yeah, that story doesn't seem like that's. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. So now I didn't hear an explosion. That's the crazy thing. I didn't hear an explosion, and then I'm not one quickly to go outside because I could have easily hurried up and went to the top of my apartment because you can see all of the part of Brooklyn I live in at the top of the apartment I live in. But I didn't even think enough to go do that because I was like, okay. And that's what my daughter found on TikTok that happened. So, do y'all think it was a cyber attack? I didn't hear. I did not hear an explosion, y'all. I kid y'all not, I did not hear one. I didn't hear it, nor did I see a hue of black smoke. And again, I'm not that far from Dumbo where I can't see like smoke in the air. I'm not that far. But I didn't hear anything. Did not hear. So, because I'm trying to see if y'all, because I'm looking at this. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I see some. Do I see anything? Hold on, y'all. This week's videos. Like, Help me out. I hope this isn't. I'm wondering if this is the same location though. Because if you look, were they at the substation? And I know where this is. I would have heard some, y'all, if it was an explosion. I didn't hear an explosion. I did not hear it. Does that look like an explosion? Is it anybody in my chat from Brooklyn? If you are, hit a 1 for me. Anybody in the chat that's from Brooklyn, hit a 1 for me and tell me if you heard an explosion. I didn't hear one. So Judah Line, you live in Brooklyn now.
Few books were about my
Did
people.
you
Where's
hear
our
an
representation?
explosion?
Would you read an excerpt?
Tell me if you heard an explosion. I didn't hear one. And like I said, I don't live too far from where I could be able to see something over in, even though Brooklyn is one of the bigger boroughs, it's still certain areas that's compacted. And the area I am in is not too far where you can't see what's going on in Dumbo. So it's just, you would have heard it though. And I didn't see any black smoke. So did anybody else hear anything? Give me a 1 if you heard an explosion. Something suspicious going on. Suspicious. I ain't going over nowhere near that area. They ain't finna say that I'm the one that's over there causing problems. That's why I don't go over there, because they be looking like us. Hold on, I'll check this one. Yeah, they looking to blame us. They looking to blame us. So I'm not going nowhere near that area. Oh, okay. Whoever live in Brooklyn now, give me a 1 or near Brooklyn. And tell me if you heard it. I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear a thing. I'll wait because I'm going to go to the next conversation. All right. So moving on to the next one. Have y'all heard, people been saying that these hostages, okay, so you live near Brooklyn. Accountability is kryptonite. Did you hear an explosion? Accountability is kryptonite. Since you live in Brooklyn. I didn't hear anything. While I wait for people to respond, I'm going to move on to the next point of this conversation. Did y'all hear about the idea of accidentally killing hostages? People been saying for the past couple of months, the way that Israel been blowing up Gaza they're shocked that the hostages are still alive because they think some of the hostages are probably got caught up in the crosshairs of what's going on. Ninja Firewolf, you heard it? You actually heard the explosion? I ain't hear nothing. I ain't hear a thing. So y'all heard it. Wow, I ain't hear not a smidget of anything. So about the hostages. Okay, so let me share my screen. We can get started on that. So now they're investigating IDF, I would assume.
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. A tragedy on Friday morning has galvanized the country of Israel once again. Just 48 hours ago, 3 hostages were killed inside Gaza after mistakenly being identified as Hamas fighters. We are learning more about what took place. The Israelis say some of the hostages were shirtless. They walked toward the soldiers with at least one of them holding a makeshift white flag. Soldiers then reportedly opened fire, killing 2 of them and wounding a third. Despite reportedly yelling for help in Hebrew, the third hostage was killed as the Israelis thought it was Hamas leading them into a trap. Families of more than 100 of Israeli captives still held by Hamas gathered overnight in Tel Aviv to call for their release. Pressure is mounting on the Israeli government to find solutions to free them, as leadership has hinted at renewed negotiations with Hamas through Qatari negotiators. Now, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, and War Cabinet member Benny Gantz held a press conference about the situation last night, with Netanyahu saying this.
We are in a war for our existence, in which we must continue until victory, despite the international pressure and despite the unbearable cost that the war is exacting from us in our fallen sons and daughters.
The war with Hamas is expected to last for several more months, and with international pressure increasing on Israel, there's an understanding that with the new year could come a new phase of this conflict. Guys, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Trey.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
So, yep, they didn't kill 3 hostages. I think this just is my opinion. My opinion is in fact, I wonder if it's more hostages or what they would consider to be hostages. Are they the only ones that have been impacted by the bombings and the shootings? Have they been killed by what they consider to be friendly fire? I'm just wondering. It's just a question I have. I think it's possible. It could possibly be more. So we'll wait on that and see. But have y'all heard the new phase of this war now? Let me go straight to it. So I'm gonna play this. Rio's gonna start. Shh.
The United Nations on Tuesday voted to back a resolution that demanded an immediate humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza, coming as US President Joe Biden warned that Israel was losing international support in light of Palestinian civilian casualties.
In the name of humanity, I ask you all once again, stop this violence now.
After dire warnings by UN officials about a growing humanitarian crisis in Gaza, more than 3/4 of the 193-member UN General Assembly backed the resolution. The US and Israel voted against the measure, along with 8 other countries.
Ceasefire means one thing and one thing only: ensuring the survival of Hamas.
The resolution is not binding, but it carries political weight, reflecting a global view on the war. A similar vote was held in the 15-member UN Security Council last week and vetoed by the United States. The Palestinian Authority welcomed the resolution and urged countries to pressure Israel to adopt the ceasefire, as fighting between Israel and Hamas intensified across Gaza on Tuesday. Residents said Israeli shelling in the south was some of the heaviest in days, despite its forces earlier ordering people to flee there for safety. There are growing signs Israel is becoming diplomatically isolated over its conduct of war. Biden told a campaign donor event early on Tuesday that most of the world still backs Israel, but that it was, quote, starting to lose that support by indiscriminate bombing. Biden's comments came as close ally Australia backed the UN ceasefire resolution in a rare split with the United States. A joint statement with Canada and New Zealand said, quote, the price of defeating Hamas cannot be the continuous suffering of all Palestinian civilians. Though they also added that a ceasefire cannot be one-sided and demanded Hamas stop using Gaza's residents as human shields.
Recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited.
What are y'all's thoughts? What are y'all's thoughts? Tell me what y'all thinking. Yeah, I don't think this is a good look right now for them. One, they ain't got no regard for those folks at all. They have no regard, and they not stopping. They not stopping. But it's gonna look bad on the U.S. because the U.S. is still backing them. They totally gonna disregard because they said they've done it before. When the U.S. said the UN wants to have a ceasefire, I really believe some countries sincerely want a ceasefire because it's taking energy away from other things that they could be dealing with. And Israel is just out here just doing whatever they want to do. They don't care. They're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. and I really believe that they're looking at other parties as well. Like Hezbollah is in it now. You have other competing countries in the surrounding area of Israel that are like, they're not playing with them. Like they at that point, and right now Iran, they underestimate Iran, and I heard that Iran has a very, very, very strong system as far as war and some of the things they use. I think it's Iran. It was or either Turkey. Turkey is a concern as well. So they said they have very sophisticated war machines, the things that they use. I saw some videos on some of the stuff that Turkey has, and I'm like, oh, this is not good. You got Russia looking, you got China looking, everybody's looking, and they need for this country to look bad. Right now, on the world stage, yep, they looking bad. They looking bad. Somebody said hogwash. Hogwash to what? Oh, hogwash sounds a little saltine-ish. That don't sound like. Black people don't say hogwash. But it's interesting. It's very interesting. Very interesting to see what's going to happen and what's going to be the outcome of this. So yeah, that hogwash. Black people don't say hogwash. So I don't hear too many black people, so it sounds a little saltine-ish. What's another video that I came across? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Another video. Here we go. That was funny. He said hogwash. That was funny. I hear black people say hogwash. That was so funny. He's like, hogwash. That's what I got. Did I scare y'all by saying it? I did that on purpose. All right.
A UN agency says half of Gaza is starving, and this is what their desperation looks like. Palestinians swarming over aid when it arrives. This was at the Egyptian border, though Israel has now opened its crossing into Gaza for the first time since the war began. The World Health Organization has described the scene here at the Al-Shifa hospital as a bloodbath. A handful of doctors and nurses have stayed on, despite no blood for transfusions and no working operating theatres. New patients arrive every minute.
We arrived and there were hundreds of people in the street outside, in the emergency department entrance. And then when you walk in the doors, it was a bloodbath, really. Wherever we go in Gaza, people tell us that they're hungry and that they're thirsty. Even people I met yesterday with serious injuries didn't ask for pain relief, they asked for water. Everybody was making a hand sign to me saying that they wanted water.
Yet in Israel, it is the shooting of 3 of their own hostages by mistake, which is fueling the biggest anti-war protests so far. One of those hostages was buried today. Alongside Israel's disbelief that it could shoot its own people is the impatience of Western governments, who are making it clear that enough is enough. We must do all we can to pave the way to a sustainable ceasefire, leading to a sustainable peace, David Cameron wrote alongside his German counterpart. The sooner it comes...
Somebody asked me a question about something that is not the subject, but I'm going to go ahead and answer it. Do you believe Michael is a so-called Jesus? No, I do not believe Jesus and Michael are the same being. Those are 2 different individuals. Michael is an angel, a high-ranking angel. Christ is not an angel. He is what we consider to be God in the flesh. That's what I see Christ as. Emmanuel, God with us. Not an angel with us, but God with us. So somebody keep asking the question. I've seen that a couple of times. So I want to counter address that. So no, I do not agree with Jesus being and Michael being the same. They are not the same. All right, continue on with this beautiful beam footage. All right. Correct. Christ isn't a created being. Christ is divine. Thank you. He's divine. He is God in the flesh. Taking him, demoting him to an angel is taking away of who he is. The deity of Christ, who he is. If you look at my last post I made in the community tab, I said that I am not in agreement with that concept. So no, we're taking a deity down, God down to an angel. That's how I see it. We're taking him to demoting him when you do that. And we're not demoting Christ. Correct. Angels are created. Christ is not created. All right. We've cleared that up. No, I do not agree with that.
The better. The need is urgent. Too many civilians have been killed. But France's foreign minister has gone much further. She called for a ceasefire now to free 130 remaining hostages to allow in more aid.
Irresponsible call for a ceasefire.
Though her Israeli host told her such a truce would be irresponsible, a gift to the survival of Hamas. And Benjamin Netanyahu is not budging either. Extremists inside his cabinet help keep him in power. And today he showed them a letter from the relatives of dead soldiers telling him not to stop now.
The will of the fallen is what guides us. We will fight till the end, and we will achieve all of our objectives.
If that's true, it will be at the expense of over 2 million Palestinians. A British government minister has voiced the fear that more may die from illness and disease than airstrikes and fighting. Gaza's health ministry, which is controlled by Hamas, says over 18,000 have been killed in the war so far.
I love that. All right. So this is going to be interesting to play out. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. So now let me address this, because I know everybody's waiting for me to say something on this one. And I'm going to save this for another conversation of who I believe Christ is. Because I've gotten messages, emails. Y'all know how to, for some reason, y'all been wanting to get involved in these conversations. People like myself, before folks run and go build a narrative, people like myself, Taya Ministries, that includes Taya and Yacoba, Ashonda, me, Dante, Benaiah, Pastor Kelly, who else? Karis, Brandy, all of us, we do not subscribe to Christ and Michael being the same. We do not. We consider that I consider that to be a heresy. And y'all know I'm not real quick to call people heretics, but that's heretic type teachings, because you've demoted Christ down to a mere angel. Christ is not an angel. He is God in the flesh, Emmanuel, God with us. So I know a couple of people are going to be doing some teachings on that to kind of combat some of that's been going out, but I'm just letting y'all know, none of us across the board agree with the teaching of Christ being and Michael Michael the angel. We don't. So that's where I'm gonna leave it. And that's where we're gonna keep it. I actually had a debate scheduled to go against someone who teaches that Michael and Christ are the same. They refer to Michael as being many of angels, more than one. It put pluralism behind Michael, as if Michael was one of many. There is not one of many. It's only one Christ. So when you demote him down, you're saying there are other formations or types of Christ. There is no other Christ but the Christ, the one that was prophesied by Isaiah, the Yeshua. So yeah, no, it's too many holes in that argument. But I'm gonna let Teo have that. I actually have a whole thing that I did, because I, like I said, prepared for a debate against someone who believes that Christ is Michael the angel. But I'm gonna step back and let the brothers handle that. I will. I know. I've had some conversations with a few people in our community about that. So we'll address it the correct way. Yeah, I heard it did cause a stir on the Sabbath. So he is king and priest. It never said that Michael was going to be our priest, our king. So yeah, it's a little bit of that seven-day Adventist, Jehovah's Witness teaching. That's why we have to be careful. Oh, no. Oh, you're good. Midwest Boxing, you're good. I've been getting a lot of questions too as well. But where we have to be careful, and I tell people this, that when we follow people, make sure do your research, your due diligence. I'm not knocking that person or the message. I am knocking a message though. I am knocking the message. But just be very careful in what you listen to. Find out. I tell people this: find out what you were before your awakening. Because I tell people that sometimes people carry their belief systems with them into it. Meaning, I've seen people who are Kojic, And I use my example of me coming up in an apostolic background. Some of my apostolic belief systems are still intertwined with who I am. That's never changed. Because someone who calls themselves Israel doesn't mean that they have changed their doctrine. It's just they changed their identity as Israel. Get a little backstory on, what their faith was before they came into this. If they come out of an Adventist environment, they're going to have some of the Seventh-day Adventist teachings intertwined with it. If they come from Kojic, they'll have some of that. They're going to have some Baptists and Methodists. They're going to have some of that. Some that are even atheists that have accepted Yeshua, or if they're Old Testament only, they're going to carry some of that with them. So you got to be careful to listen and make sure you pay attention to indicators and know who you're listening to. I'm very prayerful, and I've said something in her chat before, but I kind of was like, speaking or saying a few things, but never was truly into going and listening to a lot of lives, because I don't listen to a lot of lives. I listen to only a handful of people. I'm always listening to Pastor Darby. I'm gonna stick to Pastor Darby. For those that are new in the belief system or new to the community, go start with Pastor Darby, Teo Ministries, Dante Fortson, Benaiah Israel, Pastor Kelly, just to name a few. Start there as a foundation. You don't know what Kojic is? Oh, Kojic is like Black Pentecostal. It's Church of God in Christ. That's a denomination that was created by C.H. Mason, and they're a little bit more of like an apostolic feel to them. But they do believe in the Trinity, but they don't believe in like oneness apostolic believe. But it was created by C.H. Mason, Charles Mason. It was a Black man, and it was actually founded in Memphis, Tennessee. So Kojic, I came up Baptist, and then later on went to Kojic, then went to Full Gospel. So most of the time, most cases, when people come into the truth, ask key questions. So y'all know to ask these questions is, what did you believe? What were you before you came into the truth? It gives me an idea of what to look for. If you say you were Seventh-day Adventist, if you say you was Jehovah's Witness, if you say you was, I'm gonna pay attention to the doctrine, because I still consider some aspects of Seventh-day Adventist and Jehovah's Witness as being heresy. I was cool with Nephi. I was not in agreement with Nephi's belief system, but she was Seventh-day Adventist. Now, I don't condemn people to hell. You'll never hear me say you're going to hell, because I just don't know what their walk is, and I don't know what their walk going to be in the future. I just pray that you come into right understanding when it comes to the key essentials of the faith, which is Christ, who Christ is, who the Father is, who the Holy Spirit is, how they interact. I don't even consider oneness and Trinitarians to be, one is going to hell over the other. I'm like, I don't see that as being a thing of a salvific thing. Some people do. Because some of us are holding on to certain belief systems, and you got to be honest. As much as we release a lot of our past belief systems, there are certain pieces of our faith or our past walk we still hold fast to. People won't admit it. There are certain things that we still hold fast to, and you got to be careful for those things. Ask key questions. Ask these questions when you come across people that's new in the faith and the truth. So what did you do before? Well, I never went to the church. I never went to church, but I studied the Bible. Key indicator for me is you got some time, because it's not just studying the Bible to understand God. You got to it's a journey and a walk with Him. So if you haven't experienced that walk and you just come in with book information, 9 times out of 10, you need to sit down for a little bit and seek the Holy Spirit. Seek to receive the Holy Spirit. Because people say, then you got those, like I said, that come from those belief systems that when we came up, they were not inside of the faith, or we consider them to be outside of the faith. And that was Jehovah's Witness was one. My mama just, Lord, she was not feeling Jehovah's Witness at all. So, and then 7-day Adventists. Ask those key questions. People say that they're in the truth and they give you all this wonderful revelation. Do some good research on that person. Even research me. Don't follow me just to be following me. Figure out, ask me questions. Sister E, what was your faith before? My faith, I came from a Baptist background, and I later went into the apostolic realm and stayed in that apostolic realm. Went to Kojic Church for a little bit and ended it at a full gospel Baptist church, which is like, I call it Baptist Pentecostalism. So that's my background. What do you believe? Ask the questions of what are your concepts of the essentials of the faith. We got to hold fast to the essentials, family. Even though we love the truth and who we are, we gotta still hold fast to the essentials. The essentials is what's very important. If at one time you deny Christ, you've strayed away from the path. If you Old Testament only, you've strayed away from the path. If you call Michael an angel the same thing, you've strayed away from the path because you've cut him down to the level of an angel. That's a demotion. I'm gonna even go as far as this. If you, and maybe some people in this chat that believe this, Christ's father was Joseph, you've taken away the deity of who Christ is. He came into the world with no sin. He came in, and you're taken away from even prophecy. It talks about a child being born of a virgin. So if you when you start messing with who Christ is, now if some say that Christ is one in the Father, I'm good with that. I lean towards, I like oneness. There's certain aspects of oneness where I just be like, Then Trinitarianism, sometimes they say the same thing, but they just want to argue just for the sake of arguing. But I've sat in conversations and say, it sounds like y'all saying the same thing. So, but for y'all, if you babes in this and you just coming into the truth, Anna Shonda, listen to Tell You Ministries, Stephen Darby, Shonda, Pastor Kelly, Dante, Benaiah. Benaiah is very good with the history. But far as just learning and staying in the faith, stick to them. Don't stray away from, and again, I know people just love, but people are just, I think sometimes people are overly spiritual. You got to look, when people are overly spiritual, be leery of that. That's all you see is visions all day long. Come on now. People don't walk in that all day. You don't walk in visions all day. You don't sleep and eat visions all day. That's not even how God works. God doesn't work like that. Yes, he gives us visions. Yes, he gives us revelation. But we still live lives. We still get up and go to work. We still do this. When I meet people, when I was in the church, when I met people that they put a prophecy on a spoon, I got a problem with you. I'm looking at you sideways. You give me a prophecy about a spoon or a prophecy, I'm just making a joke, y'all. When you tie everything to being overly in the spiritual realm, because I'm going to be honest, no man can humanly stay in the spiritual realm 24 hours. One, you're going to drain yourself if you really were. Two, you can't live a normal life if you're doing that. Anybody that has ever prayed, and I mean prayed hard, and before you know it, have you ever been such in prayer that you feel yourself going out of this and going into a spiritual realm? 10 minutes of it, when you come out of it, you drained. I've experienced that. I've prayed, and I mean, just one of those days where I just went, and before you know it, you're there. And anybody who's been there, they understand. When you come out, that's even in the church, you drained. You drain. When you see the people being almost carried to the car because they have no energy, that's serious. That's real. I've experienced. It zonks all of your energy. It zonks. I've been there, and those who just all day long in the heavenly and heavenly or heavenlies, that's not for it. Even the Levitical priests live normal lives. When they went to the Holy of Holies, if y'all remember, they had to go through a whole sanctification process. You can drop dead if you go into the Holy of Holiness and you got some unclean things on you. That's why people who are overly spiritual, I tend to look at like, when people tell people to do things like, I would never tell anybody to quit their job. When I hear people do things like that, then I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. No. Most High God says, occupy till I come. That's what his word says. And remember that when he says when he comes, people are going to be getting married. People are going to be living normal lives when he comes. Yes, I believe that we're going to go into this. Yes, I believe that the Most High is going to save us. There's going to be a lot of signs and wonders out here that's just going to shock us and going to just make us just be like, wow, bad. But in that, he even shows you that people are going to be living normal lives during that time. So people still, he said, occupy till I come. He told them to, build vineyards, marry, do what you're supposed to do. I think it was Jeremiah when he said that. Live a normal life. And when he comes, he comes. When he comes, he take, I ain't one of them that say, I don't want him to come. Lord knows I want him to be here. I need him here. I need him to come get us because things are only getting worse. But I'm not sitting and I'm not waiting and I'm not afraid. I'm not saying things to kind of say. Yeah. So just be very leery because yeah, even those that are so, you heard me say just a second ago, the person that is so biblically learned about the Bible that they don't observe that there's a spirit to this. And you got to have the Holy Spirit. You have to pray. There are things that, manifestations of signs and wonders, those things, and they ignore it and say it's not real. Well, what Bible are you reading? So those that are not spiritual but overly learned, be watchful of them as well. There has to be balance in this realm. This has to be balance. Yes, be learned, but also operate in the spirit, but you ain't in the spirit 24/7. And I'm not saying that the person is in the spirit, but those who just always, it's just, God wants us to warn. I'm going to warn. Yes, the Messiah is coming. Yes, be ye also ready. Yes, we no man knows the day nor the hour when the Son of Man will appear. All of us know these scriptures. All of us. But just do it in wisdom. Like I said, I'll never tell people don't watch or listen to someone. Just always make sure you have your discerning ears on. Turn off for a second and don't get emotional. Because what I get concerned about our community is this. And I don't know why I'm here, but we're here now. We're so ready to go that we've mentally checked out with life. I hope I don't hurt nobody's feelings with this, but I'm going to be honest. We're so ready to go that we've mentally checked out. That anybody that gives us a word to say, darkness is coming. Yes, darkness is coming. But we're so anticipating. Do you realize that when that comes, it's going to be an awful day? It's going to be an awful day. Awful day. But I want to go home with Father. I'm ready for Abba God to come. But I still want to enjoy life. And those that, like I said, I heard, one time she said that, some of y'all may need to quit your jobs. It's a telltale sign to me to say, wait, hold on. Now, if you're led, if the God leads you to say, quit your job, okay, that's fine. But got to be careful in what you say because people will take it wrong. And what happens is, if we've seen people do this, quit their jobs and then look up and say, because I know some people that was dealing with COVID, they quit their jobs. And we later on were getting emails where people were struggling because they couldn't find a job. Just have, make sure that the revelation that you receive is not your revelation and not everybody else's. I have never been one to get up here and say, oh, the most Angie, Ruhama, Sheila, and them can all tell you in prayer. I am one that loves prayer and love to hear a word from the Lord, or the Most High God. But where you have to have that spiritual maturity is to know when the word is supposed to be released to the people. Because sometimes Yah is giving you a word for you, or he's telling you to hold that word until he's ready for you to release it. But yet it's still some word. You got to be able to have know the difference between, is this word for me or is this word for the masses? If it's for the masses, then let me present it. But if it was for me, I'm going to keep it and say, okay. So I've said things in her chat, and I'm not talking about her. I think as a person, I love her, her spirit. I think she still has some learning to do. I think she has some learning to do, especially with the whole concept that I'm talking about Maria, with the whole thing with the angel and Michael. I can't. That shows that, you still have some learning to do. You got to have that balance. So, yeah, I'm not knocking her followers. God bless them. I'm not knocking her. God bless her. Love her, and we're going to keep her in our prayers. But I just feel like we have to be careful that we don't put, people, don't ever, I'll say this much, don't ever put me on a pedestal. Don't ever put me on a pedestal. Because as soon as you do that, I'm going to correct you real quick, because I'm human. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to have some things I may say that ain't spiritual, and I might think it's spiritual, and I might need a quick correction. So ever put me on a pedestal, because when you put people on pedestals, you're scared to correct them. No, don't put none of us on a pedestal. Don't put me on a pedestal, Teo on a pedestal, Dante, Pastor Kelly, Benaiah, or Shonda. Don't put any of us on a pedestal, because we are just only human vessels being utilized by the Most High to present his word and his gospel to the people. So, and in that, sometimes that human element can kick in and cause you to say something that has nothing to do with the word or the spiritual side of what Most High wants you to say. So everybody has room for correction. So I know a couple of people are, a little upset because they feel like, she doesn't need correction. Yeah, she does. She's human. She does. Again, only reason I'm saying this because she openly said this, and I was actually going to wait, and me and Shonda had a conversation about this as well. But I just felt like somebody has to say something now to at least address it for those who have questions. For those, we still have babes in this truth, and we are held accountable for them that listen to us, that are still babes in the Messiah, who are still learning in the faith. You got to make sure you grab them and say, no, that's not true. That's not correct. And grab them quickly, because what happens is they'll get caught up in it. And before you know it, they take on strange doctrines, and you're kind of confused. Like, where did you get this from? So the accountability is great. So I'm only correcting it for the people and the masses that have questions, that are considered to be babes. Because I know quite a few babes that possibly follow, that, that understanding, or came across that understanding, or even have questions about the understanding. Tell You Ministry is actually going to do a teaching. So just make sure you listen to his teaching, because I kind of got an idea where he's going to come from. Because we gotta, even though we talk about us leaving in the end, we gotta make sure we go back to the foundations for some of the babes. Because if they don't understand the foundations of the faith, they get confused, and before you know it, they start going down a path that is that's outside of the faith. So we have to hurry up and deal with this. And the only reason I'm dealing with this is because, again, someone brought the question up, and I said I'm going to address the question, and I was led to keep talking about it. So again, there's no stones thrown at anybody. Understand, I'm doing this to make sure that people understand that is heretical teaching. And y'all don't hear me say stuff like heretical teaching and all this, because I just don't, I try not to put labels on people and try to discredit them. But that right there is quick rebuke. That is heretical teaching. That's heretical teaching. To demote our Savior, Christ, the Son of God, who was considered to be God in the flesh, Emmanuel, to demote him down to an angel. Y'all realize that's a demotion? He said he's going to be above all, greater than all, over the chart, over the angels. He's greater than the angels. We're going to demote him down to an angel. Can't do that. You can't do that. So I say stay tuned for the teaching. I know Teo said, because I heard it this morning. Teo said he's going to do a teaching. Jacoba said they're going to do a teaching on it this week. So stay tuned to their teaching, especially a babe that y'all know that has questions about this. Send them over to Teo's channel when he does that teaching so that they can be aware of how dangerous that teaching is, because it's very dangerous. Again, the dangerous is you're demoted God in the flesh down to an angel. Angels were created. Christ is not a created being. So, yeah, I know, Char, your faith is strong. I understand that, but it's for those who are in babes that still trying to figure out what the faith means. Because you got to understand, some people coming into the truth are those who didn't grow up in the church. Some of them were not, raised in the church. They didn't get the foundationals of the essentials of the faith. They didn't get any of that. So they're coming in eyes wide open and receiving any and everything that comes to you. And those are one of the teachings that I've seen people go into, and it is easy because you can see some of the similarities of Michael and the angel. Hold on. You can see some of the teachings where it is they do have some similarities, but the key to it is, one, Christ is God in the flesh, and he was never created. So that's all I have to say about that. And I hope people don't get mad by it. If you do, God bless you. But yes. Correct. So again, if y'all see anybody that y'all know that has said they listen, make sure you redirect them to Teo, because Teo is supposed to be doing the teaching on that. It didn't shock me. I'll say that much. It didn't. I wasn't too shocked about the teaching. Nothing seems to shock me anymore when it comes to what yeah, maybe she did get confused, but yeah, when I heard it, I was like, wait, hold on, that doesn't make, hold on, where is this going? And I was just like, yeah. So, and I know everybody's like, see, this is why I don't promote everybody. Yeah, I understand your point, Taylor. Kobe is just, he ain't too happy about this. That's all I got to say. Taylor and your Kobe are definitely not happy about it. But we're doing this in love. But yeah, I just want to make sure that the people who are babes in Christ are not confused. So, love you, family. Was that loving? Did I give it to you in love? I tried my best to stay away from it. I really did. I wasn't gonna talk about it. In fact, I told Shonda I wasn't. Sorry, Shonda, if you see this. We're here now. Well, I ain't gonna say we weren't gonna say anything about it. We're still gonna reach out to her and talk to her. But we're gonna reach out to her first. And if she is listening, I just want her to be receptive of the conversation, because that was a bit much. That was a bit much. So So I just, I don't, like I said, I don't watch a whole lot of people. I watched her a few times. Like I said, when she said that some of you all are gonna have to quit your jobs, I was like, hold on, no, he didn't tell us we were gonna have to quit our jobs. And I believe that there is a time of darkness, but there were certain aspects of that I was just like, I don't think it's gonna be monsters outside, but it's monsters already walking on this earth in the light of day. So yeah, I don't think we gotta. And she said something about pets. Like some of you all are gonna have to figure out what y'all gonna do with y'all pets. I was like, wait, hold on. Rio just fine. What is you talking about? I'm just joking, y'all. I'm like, Rio is just fine. You know, I don't want people walking around here killing on the line, getting rid of their dogs and quitting their jobs, and then they be like, wait, God didn't tell us to do that. Y'all didn't tell us to do that. He said, live your life. He said, occupy until he comes. You doggone right. Rio is gonna be in the wilderness. Y'all ready for him? We're gonna teach them how to hunt. Actually, Cocker Spaniels are hunting dogs. I didn't know that. Yeah, Rio sleep, J-High style. Definitely. My pet is coming. I'm with you. My little angel is coming with me, honey. He is coming with me. He is coming with me. Rio, my little Cocker Spaniel, which I just took him to the vet because he had an ear infection. It's 40 pounds and he's going with us. Not leaving. When I heard that, y'all, I did feel some kind of way when she said, some of you are going to have to figure out what y'all. I said, no. Can't stop listening now. You just said something about Rio. So Rio going with us. One thing I tell y'all, Rio likes a nap. So he'll probably be asleep somewhere in the bottom of the ship that we gonna ride in. Because they probably gonna let me and Rio on the plane. So I'm gonna have to go by way of ship. If they send ships. I understand Rio and Madison gonna be in one of those ships. I ain't forgot about my child, y'all. I'm just talking about my dog to be, specific. But yeah. Yeah, when that and then quitting of the job, I'm like, you can't tell people stuff like that and they take it correctly. There are people that are actually really concerned about this, very concerned about this whole thing that's going on. And you don't want people to say, I'm finna hurry and quit my job so I can leave. Most High y'all gonna tell y'all when it's time to go. Rest assured that when he say it's time to go, I'm gonna be the first nigga on the bus. I'm going to be the first ninja on the bus. Don't get it twisted. You're not leaving me here with these heathens. Definitely not. So, any questions, family? Oh, Bentley definitely going. Yes, Bentley is. Speaking of, somebody woke up from his nap and looking at me. But Bentley definitely going because Bentley and Rio got to meet. Me and her are Facebook friends, so I know how Bentley looks. Bentley is the cutest little thing. Y'all act like one thing they gonna have to have. They gonna have to have something for these dogs, cause Israel love their dogs. We got some pit bulls, German shepherds, Yorkies, Cocker Spaniel, Ossadoodles. Susan's little Ossadoodle is so cute though. Oh, her little Ossadoodle is cute. Cane Corsos they gonna have to give us a pet friendly ride wherever we going. Wherever we go, ain't that right, Rio? Rio, you rolling with us? Rio is still after his nap. Shih Tzu going with us. Can you visualize the Saints if they told us y'all got to leave all y'all dogs here? First, they gave us reparation. We got enough money to buy a boat for just us who have pets. We'll put our money together and say we'll get our own boat. Oh, Sheba sounds so cute. A husky. I had a husky. We will all put out some of our reparation money together and get a boat and be like, I got you. Anybody got pets? We got this boat over here, but you got to put in on it. But they'll have a pet-friendly boat. But yeah, I believe darkness is, I think the darkness part of it, I see it a little differently. I see it as being the world going dark, as in spiritually dark. And I believe it's going to be a season where it's going to be, it's going to be some stuff that goes on. I think some of it is going to be tied to the cyber attacks. It's going to be quite a few things, but it's just some things I'm just dealing with. But that's a whole nother teaching within itself. But yeah, my dog going with me. Rio, you going with us? Rio. Everybody was laughing at me when I said something about it, though, when I first heard the teacher. They said, they knew already when she said that, oh no, Sister E ain't finna play by her dog. Rio. Sarah, you going with us? He is knocked out. Saints is not playing about their animals. Maybe we will put all some monies together and be like a dog only, cat only boat. No. Madison ain't finna. Madison gonna turn it out. They say, no, you can't put Rio on the boat. She'll be like, excuse me? We will stuff Rio in a backpack, and a boat ride from here to Africa. It ain't that long of a ride. How long does it take by boat if we went straight to Africa? By boat. Let's see. New York to Africa. Boat ride. Boat time. Dang, this here takes 3 to 4. Come on now. It takes 3 to 4 weeks to get over there. That don't take no 3 to 4 weeks. It'll probably take 2 days. That ain't correct. Somebody talking about 12 days. Non-stop. It don't take no 12 days. It probably take a couple of days. It take 2 days by plane. Ooh, 2 weeks. Well, I don't want to be on no boat for no 2 weeks. They're going to have to figure out how to put you on a plane, my dude. They're going to have to open up their cargo for our pets. They would make us leave our pets. I mean, if we had to, Most High willing. But I just ask him, Lord, can I take my child and my dog? Can I take my dog? Ain't that right, Rias? We ain't got there yet, though. But they got ways of people travel with their pets all the time. People go to other countries and move to other countries with their pets. They do. They do. So there are ways where you can travel with your animal, even when you go by ship. They do have like an area for the pet. I mean, far as waste though would be the only thing, like 2 weeks of, but even with that, you can even travel with pets. So we got enough money. We'll have enough money. They are not gonna argue with us about our pets. Ain't that right, Reed? All of us gonna have enough money. They're gonna be like, give them Negroes what they want. Ain't that right, Reed? So, all right, family. I'm getting ready to go so I can finish my cooking. I have enjoyed this conversation like I always do. It wasn't nothing like too shocking today. Or too much. So, yeah, I've seen pets on cruise ships too. Yeah. We can travel with dogs. We can. So family, love y'all. I will see y'all later on this week. I am going to finish up all my cooking. I need to go ahead and put my greens in. So, all right, family. Love y'all. May the Most High bless you.